So today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where World War I happens in the modern day in 2025. Now I've actually done a video similar to this before with World War II happening in 2023 or maybe it was 2022, but now we're taking it a step back and doing World War I. Now World War II of course is like probably the most popular war in the mapping community, but World War I also is pretty popular, so I think it's about time that we do something with it. This actually might be my first video ever doing something with the First World War. But anyway, if you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers. If you pay attention to detail, you might have noticed that I've been wearing the same two outfits in the videos for the past couple of weeks. Yeah, these are all pre-recorded. I'm gonna be wearing the same outfit in all of them. I didn't even think about that. So if someone like doesn't know they're pre-recorded and they watch my videos, they're gonna be like, man, this guy stinks. He doesn't change his outfits. Yeah, they're all pre-recorded. I'm sorry, I didn't think about that. Anyway, off topic, but let's get into this video. So we all know that World War I started when Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated in Serbia, making Austria-Hungary declare war on Serbia. At least I hope we all know that. Do we know our history? And that's exactly where we will be starting today. Now you might be wondering, how is Austria-Hungary gonna work? Because they don't exist anymore. Well, it's actually pretty simple. There you go. Just color in Austria and Hungary because they're not a union, so we can't have them as a union. This is the modern day. So instead they'll be forming a kind of alliance together in order to declare war on Serbia. Now this is an interesting conflict because about 110 years ago, Austria-Hungary would absolutely roll over Serbia, but modernly, Serbia would be able to put up a pretty good fight, but ultimately I do think the red team would win this because, well, these two are stronger than this one on their own. So Austria-Hungary begins their invasion of Serbia because their president was assassinated while visiting the country. Pretty simple, right? No, this is where World War I officially begins. Because Germany will not get involved in this conflict, because as we all know, Germany gets involved in this conflict, and from there, it gets a little crazy. So Germany is going to go ahead and declare war on France, Belgium, and Russia. And this is already pretty ridiculous for the red team, but this is how it went. But it gets worse, because Britain will declare war on Germany, and then Austria-Hungary gets involved because they declare war on Russia. So now it's officially the red team versus the blue team, but we're not done yet. Montenegro will declare war on Austria, joining Serbia. And for one more country, we have Japan joining this conflict. Yeah, kind of weird considering the time period. Modernly, Japan would have absolutely no interest in a conflict taking place over in Europe, but once again, this is how World War I started. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know like history like at the back of my hand, at least as far back as World War I goes. I'm really knowledgeable in World War II. I just took a winter course on that over the winter. Obviously, it's a winter course. But I wish that they would offer classes on World War I because I know what happened. I know who won. I know the countries that were involved in it, but I'm not too sure about how it played out other than it was like stalemated for a super long time. And I'm not really sure about the motives of some countries, especially Japan. But now back to the scenario. My point is World War I, not taught enough about. Now, the war is going to start here. No other countries will get involved just yet, but as we know, a lot more got involved, but not just yet. So the red team will be making the first move here as German troops enter into Belgium. Now, was Luxembourg involved in World War I? Yeah, they were occupied. I don't know why that wasn't on the timeline that I'm looking at. Yes, I am using a timeline. Like I said, not too knowledgeable about World War I, so I need a little bit of help. But Germany will do its little around the Ardennes thing, and so far so good. Down in Serbia, the red team's advances are continuing, and more of Serbia is being taken. As for Russia, I'm not too sure what they're doing. They don't even share a land border with Germany, so I'm assuming there's a lot of naval fighting taking place right about here. Now, back over to this front line though, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not gonna go too well for Germany. They're gonna get pushed back. But not so fast because the Ottoman Empire has just joined the war. But wait, there is no Ottoman Empire, so Turkey joins the war. So there actually is an interesting scenario with Turkey and the Ottoman Empire because Turkey wants to claim to be the Ottoman Empire, but they also don't want to be the successor of the Ottoman Empire because then they would be responsible for all the things that happened with Armenia. Turkey doesn't want to pay reparations for that. So they say they don't want to be the successor, but they really do. And then it all stems from a debate over Crimea. It's a really interesting thing, looking into it. It's kind of funny. But yeah, the Ottoman Empire joins the war, aka Turkey. And this will help out the southern campaign a lot because after Turkish troops make a landing in Montenegro, we see the full capitulation of both Montenegro and Serbia. So now the fighting will continue, like I said, and Germany is still getting pushed back. And now French troops are entering into their territory. All right, that's not good. They will be enjoying some reinforcements from Austria and Hungary, but against France and the UK, and even Russia to an extent, that's really not enough. Now, throughout the rest of the war, not much else really happened. You had the United States join, so that's cool. But what about the colonies of these countries, of course? Because remember, this is in 1914, 1915, maybe 1916 at this point. But the world had a bunch of colonies, and every single power in Europe had colonies other than the Austrian-Hungarians, and the Ottomans. Oh, and I guess technically the Russians as well. But these three, they all had colonies. Of course, Germany had their colonies down in Africa with Angola and Tanzania and Cameroon. And then the British and the French had everything else, basically. So I was thinking about adding the colonies in for this video, but I think that it would be a little bit too much for the red team to handle. It already kind of is, especially with the US joining in a little bit. But let's just see how the rest of this plays out. You never know. Okay, back in Germany. It's still not going so well. Germany has probably broken all of the treaties. Actually, no. Would Germany have the treaties of World War II? Because technically World War II would not have happened yet. Which means they wouldn't have to have a limited military like they do modernly. Interesting. Interesting concept. So let's just go ahead and say that they aren't binded by those treaties because, I mean, first of all, this cannot be a factor in this video in the first place, which also means that World War II never happened, which also means that Germany is not restricted. And now we get our counterpoint. Germany's now pushing back a little bit. Russian Civil War. Yeah, I'm not leaving out any events. The Russian Civil War kicks off, and the communists are back in 2025, probably 2027 at this point. And let's just say the communists are getting funded by someone else, not just the red team, but also a certain someone over here in East Asia. They want to see the Soviets come back. And with China's help in this war, the communists pop up in even more places than they did in real life. Specifically over here in Siberia, weirdly enough. You might want to investigate that, Russia. Sounds like someone's stabbing you in the back. With more and more communist pockets popping up throughout all of Russia, it doesn't look too good for the Russian military. They are already kind of scattered a little bit because of World War I, of course. But now that there's a revolution happening back home, you might want to just pull out of this war completely. And that is exactly what Russia does. Russia leaves World War I. A huge loss for the blue team, although they didn't really do much at this point, but still a huge loss nonetheless. And now I'm kind of starting to question, do I go off script here and also have Japan leave the war? Back in Europe, the war is still raging on. The trenches have been dug and the chlorine gas has been dispatched. However, this is the modern day. So yeah, Germany's cooked. The French invasion of Germany goes extremely well, and with the help of the British, it's not much of an issue. And it's around about the time that the Zimmerman telegram gets sent over to Mexico, and a certain somebody intercepts that. And let's just say that with the entrance of the US into this war, the red team is cooked. I'm not even going to bother coloring all of the US because this thing's about to be over really quickly. So now that Germany knows that the US is coming, they're going to go ahead and just send all their troops in a blitz against France. That goes pretty well, land looks nice, and then the consequences start kicking in. And now that the US is here, alright, and now all that remains is Turkey. Turkey versus France, the United Kingdom, Japan, and the United States. There's also a supporting cast of Belgium and Luxembourg and Montenegro. They might help a little bit. All right, World War I is over. Italy did join World War I, but that was not in the timeline, and I forgot to include Italy and a few other countries. That was weird. Why did I not? Okay, it doesn't matter. The main point is that the Central Powers are cooked, and they lost this war. Peace treaty time. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. All right, and in this peace treaty here, we see Germany has embraced their true HRE selves. This thing doesn't look good, and that's because I forgot to erase some lines. All right, now we're looking a lot better. So France, Germany. All right, and now we're looking a lot better. So France, Belgium, and Luxembourg all get a little bit of land from Germany. And as for Germany itself, you can see that it's divided up into 3 pieces. We got Bavaria. We got this weird occupation zone thing that's probably an occupation zone by the US and the UK and France and someone else. And then we got actual Germany over here. They do still exist. And then we have the United Kingdom right here. As for Austria and Hungary, we see they get themselves a little bit of a split going on. We got North and South Austria. We have East and West Hungary. And as for Serbia, I'm not too sure what they're doing, but they went ahead and took some land from Hungary and united with Montenegro. And then as for Turkey, they got off pretty scot-free. But maybe right here we see a little bit of an occupation zone that's temporary. Not too sure, because this is a really weird world war. This is also like, I'm not too sure how the land would be divided up. Like, I don't know. This is really weird. This is like World War II. Because World War II had the entire continent involved in some way, especially with Germany taking over all of the continent. But in World War I, it was a lot more classical, conventional warfare. Not a whole lot of expansion and invasions. So it's a little bit more complicated. But this is our peace treaty. And also, of course, we can address the elephant in the room. The Soviet Union is back. And America's probably terrified because this Soviet Union and this China working together, not too good for you. Not gonna lie. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. It's a little bit shorter than I probably thought it would have been, but hey, you know, it happens, okay? World War I, complete joke of a war. I said it. This is why they don't teach us about it, because it's a stupid war. Stupid war. I like my world wars violent and not against civilians, because that's really not cool. That's really messed up. Germany was bad in World War II. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to show some support by leaving a like on it and subscribing to the channel. If you are new, like I said at the beginning, we're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Not by the end of the year, but soon. Hopefully we don't reach it at the end of the year, because that would be way too long. I want it now, at least by the summer, please. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. And of course, thank you to all our super fans. This includes America and Canada and UK, Freezioid, Godzilla Bro, Zaylance, Unknown TD, Georgie Badev, Servernator, Johnny XX7, King Cheese, GD Cilia, Pablo Sigma Cat, Death Strider X, Hammer Toad 45, Connor the Gamer, Nevada Garbage Trucks, and DW Cool Dude. Once again, thank you guys.